Hey everyone, RogueGold here, and today we are back to chat about The Division Heartland, my most anticipated game ever since it was announced over a year ago, which is crazy, and because of that anticipation, it's led to a lot of speculation and scrutiny on my part about how Ubisoft and Red Store might ultimately plan to market this game, because, as you probably heard me say before, I sincerely doubt they're going to use up the entirety of their current release window, which currently extends to the end of fiscal 2022, aka March of 2023, and given the general lack of huge game releases in the same genre, given the amount of time we've been waiting on the game, I do think this thing is coming in the next few months. But given some of the new information we have regarding when the next Ubisoft Forward might be, it certainly brings a lot of things into question. So that's what I want to dive into today. I certainly hope you enjoy it. Let's get right into it. Starting with this, you may have seen a short that I released this past week about Heartland potentially showing up during this E3 season. And yes, E3 was officially canceled this year and did not occur, but that did not stop other shows from happening during the same usual time slot that E3 usually takes place at every year, aka the E3 season. If you didn't hear, those shows over the past few days were the Summer Games Fest, as well as Xbox and Bethesda's big showcase. One of those is actually still happening today, but I think it's pretty safe to rule out that Heartland will make an appearance there due to the lack of any non-first-party titles at the first Xbox event. And so yes, Heartland nor any other Ubisoft property made an appearance at either SGF or the Xbox event, which I had said was a possibility, and it certainly was, especially considering how Microsoft and The Division do have a history with past time-exclusive DLC on Xbox and big Division reveals previously happening at Xbox's E3 presentations, but alas, it wasn't a super high chance and it did not happen here, which honestly wouldn't be terribly surprising if we knew when the next Ubisoft Forward was going to be, because Ubisoft has a lot of upcoming titles beyond just Heartland, and honestly, it's because of that entire lineup that I'm surprised more than anything that Ubi is skipping out on this E3 season show. Besides Heartland, they've got the likes of X-Defiant, Frontline, Skull and Bones, Avatar from our very own Massive Entertainment. All of those seem to be coming up in the coming months, and those are things you're going to want to market well. I mean, hell, any game is something you're going to want to have the best marketing possible, but at least according to Ubisoft, they don't plan on returning to the stage anytime soon. I want to read a quote from this Games Radar article I was sent by my buddy Splinter Shield, so thank you very much to him, and I will leave a link to both this article and his Twitter in the description if you would like to go check either out. But this article covers the general E3 season schedule this year as a whole, and they dedicate a little section to Ubisoft and other companies which aren't hosting a big event this time around. Here's what they had to say. Ubisoft usually also does an E3 event, but not this year. A Ubisoft representative told Axios that it is skipping the E3 season, but will do something else, quote, later this year. Now, not only is that incredibly ambiguous, but it's just odd. And really, I don't want to get into the whole, conspiracy about why this might be the case. Some people think it's because of potential buyout offers. Others have other theories. It's not really the point of this video. What is the point is that from that quote, I've seen some say that they think that just means Ubisoft will do something next month in July or August. My personal interpretation is that that means actually later in the year, like October or November. And frankly, unless they're going to pull an Apex Legends and announce and then immediately release, I think that's just too late to properly kick off Heartland's marketing, especially with Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 releasing this October. They've confirmed that Warzone 2 is coming this calendar year as well, so likely in December, I would guess. Heartland needs a solid gap before that launches if it wants a chance at establishing itself in the free-to-play market. As popular as I think it has the chance to be, it needs that opportunity to get in front of people's eyes. And so this is all a point to say that if Ubisoft Forward isn't happening until like Q4 of this year, then I don't know what their marketing plan is. Obviously, the other big games event during this summer season is Gamescom. Currently, that is scheduled for August 24th through the 28th, and that could certainly be where we see Heartland pop up, but if not, Red Store might just truly end up winging it with the marketing and end up not relying on a big event to get the hype train started, which is risky, 100%, I would say, but not necessarily dooming. I know one piece of info that has certainly reassured myself was that it was confirmed on Twitter a while back by Kiba, who is one of Heartland's community developers, if you didn't know, that any future and forthcoming news about Heartland will be communicated via the main Division Twitter account, which I think is an expertly smart move. Too often, I feel like I see multiple social media accounts for, games within the same franchise or even one game sometimes, and what that just ends up doing is splintering your audience in communication, in my opinion. I don't see what benefit there would be in creating a new Heartland Twitter account, which would only get a few tens of thousands of followers to begin with, as opposed to doing what Red Storm has now said they plan on doing, which is utilizing the Division's main account, which has over 700,000 followers, and marketing the new game that way. Honestly, I think it would be really cool if they just end up rebranding that account to The Division Universe or just The Division, as opposed to the Division 2 tag it has now, and that way any and all future Division Universe content and news can be shared with as many Division fans as possible, whether it be new Division 2 stuff, Heartland, mobile, future novels, the movie, whatever. I think that's by and large the smart way to do it, and I'm really glad to get that confirmation that they're going that route. So with that in mind, it is entirely possible that Red Storm could utilize that existing audience and just do spotlights with IGN and other outlets for more exposure. They could certainly be planning it on a Gamescom reveal as well. At this point, we don't really know, but given that, at least to myself personally, Ubisoft Forward seems to be out of the picture as far as a place to kick off Heartland's marketing, I wanted to share this information with all of you and hear some of your thoughts about this whole situation. Thank you all so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and be sure to subscribe with notifications on to get me updated every time I upload. Let me know your thoughts about Heartland and what it and Red Storm's potential marketing plan might end up being. When do you think the next Ubisoft Forward might actually take place? What do you think about the chances of Ubisoft utilizing Gamescom as a platform for some of this news? And are you in agreement with myself that it's going to be a smart move to consolidate social media news to the main Division Twitter account, or perhaps you'd rather Heartland get its own separate one? I'll be very curious to hear any and all of your guys' thoughts on any of those topics. And yeah, folks, as I always say, I cannot wait for the day when we have some official Heartland news to go over. It's, kind of hard to even imagine that the game is actually going to release one day after all this time. I truly cannot wait. I hope you all are excited to go along on the ride with me. It's going to be epic. That's going to do it for me today, though, everybody. Once again, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and until the next one, guys, RogueGold out.